Hi, my name is Michel Langlois. I'm very happy to introduce the GUM-RTDP. It stands for Govern Unified Model Driven Real-Time Data Platform, made of three platforms: the Event-Driven Architecture Platform, the Lakehouse Platform, with something we call the AI Speed Layer, which essentially runs your AI in real time. It's called Inferences, and the Data Governance Platform. There is a lot of material, so I encourage you to look at the website IT Architecture and Strategy, where you're going to have more information, and you will also find example in across 16 industries. Now let's tackle this right away. The GUM part. It's governed, unified, and model-driven. So the model-driven is simple. We use two types of model. We use conceptual enterprise data model, and we use dimensional enterprise data model. Yes, we also use AI models, but that's part of the AI speed layer. But everything to be concept-based, everything to be rich at the concept level needs to come from somewhere. And for us, it comes from our Composite CEDM. So the CEDM, conceptual enterprise data model, it's all about concept, business concept, not technical. The only thing is we attribute those, meaning we create attributes so that they will be the basis for a real database. So the CEDM is used for the silver zone, the integration zone of your lakehouse, and DDM, which is dimensional enterprise data model, which is all about matrix and all about dimension. The dimensions are your axis of analysis. This is for your consumption zone, also called the goal zone. What's left is the EDA platform. Why there is a link between the CDM and the EDA? Essentially, because you're going to have thousands of event type in a organization that has done a 100% conversion of their application to be real time and intelligent. The problem is, how do you name them so that it's quite clear? If you have a CDM, you solve the problem because we follow the CDM for the naming patterns. And because it's all about concept for the data governance platform, it's your business glossary, a very rich business glossary that is much better than most business glossary that are not done by CDM. There will be a video on explaining that. And if those are not sufficient to convince you that models are important, have a look above my head. You have additional CDM benefits. I will let you read them. Additional DDM benefits. So there are so many benefits that not doing it is a real big mistake. You will spend so much more if you bypass that super important step. Okay, now I need to get out of the way so that you can see all the slide. So the modern platform runs on three platforms. The EDA platform, essentially the EDA platform is your nervous system. Another way of saying that, it's your business event fabrics, and it's where all the events are exchanged. And maybe to simplify here the discussion, I will simply, for the people that are more technical, all your event will transit to something called Kafka. And there's a lot of commercial solution built on top of Kafka. The Lakehouse is where you create your data foundation. And the Lakehouse, we have an AI speed layer for running the inference in real time. And when the inference is run in real time, it also produces AI events which are sent to the EDA platform. So you see the Lakehouse and the EDA, they feed each other, and that makes it real time and intelligent. The data governance platform, the innovation here is to focus on the angle of being proactive. Why proactive? We define data quality targets tied to business objectives, something we call smarter business objective, which is smart business objective with ER. Have a look on the website to understand the additional level we put on the smart. So that's why we call it smarter. The data governance actor assignment are done at the conceptual level, and we use open metadata to scan the physical data asset. So we link the physical data asset to the concepts, the data concepts. That way, we totally remove the redundancy, so it's much more efficient for any actors in the data governance space because you don't have to deal with the tons of redundancy you find in most organizations. So together, new revenue, new experience, new operational intelligence, governed and compliant. Now, so why this matter now? Essentially, customer expect real time, right? They don't like to be told, "We'll get back to you." And because of the customer expect real time answer, the employee expect to be equipped to face the music, meaning they want real time insight as well, and they want intelligent tools so that they can better address whatever queries that customers have. AI requirement you read so many times in 25, 26, and before. You need proper foundation. Well, that's the lakehouse, right? So this is where you integrate all your data in a consistent way, in a rich way, with proper context. So you enrich even your context there. That's what we do with the lakehouse. The legacy constraint, it's so expensive to deal with so many systems that are there, have always been there, and yes, we can modernize once in a while some of them, but it's expensive, risky, and there are many project overrun and failure. So how about simply reusing legacy system, but surrounding them with new code that will make these legacy system real-time intelligence. This is what we decided to do. We thought that this is extremely practical. Companies will benefit, will be able to be much more intelligent and real-time for their customers, their suppliers, their employees, and all their stakeholders. And there is the compliance pressure, right? There's more and more regulation to respect, and the rising cloud costs. I'm not talking inflation per se. There are more and more capabilities available on the cloud, but they require more and more resources, and more resources mean bigger bills every month. So that's why it's important to tackle this now. So our approach, we transform without modifying existing code. We provide a great data foundation. Our system is portable. It's built on open standard, but we are agnostic. If you want to use your commercial environment with what we provide, you can. Talking about what we provide sources for both the lakehouse, the speed layer, well, for that platform and for the EDA, we provide the source code as well as a routing application so that you can then replicate using these templates, the approach, and the documentation so that you can do this. So this costs big time on your consulting cost. It reduces your risk and it's very fast. As I said, as I said it's fast because you're not getting into these huge projects and it's safe. In addition, it's fast. When we've done some testing, going through all the stuff we put around the legacy system, we were very impressed by the 1.5 seconds we got for a full loop from creating an order, having two inference run, sending back these AI even score to the fabric, and then having a threshold process to see if it was below or above threshold. All that 1.5 second, meaning that it is real time, even if you're building this with very old legacy system. We're going to do video to show that, by the way, so that you can see it's not just a bunch of slides. Um, and we're portable. So Kafka was one thing, the cloud is something, storage is something. What machine learning framework you want to do, all of that, we are very open. So, what the EDA platform enables? Uh, increased revenue, better customer experience, better employee experience, great operation, more visibility, instant alerts, risk, real-time fraud detection, better compliance, and so on. So our approach, we transform without rewriting, buying, or migrating by using CDC, which means change data capture, on your existing databases, the one used by your legacy system. We add something called BEC for Business Event Constructor. So you get the source there, so you will see the pattern we've done. So those will take what the CDC does, the table events, and will create real business events in real time. And then we have the legacy extension, which is essentially the threshold process, approval and rejection. I'm sure there are others, but those are very standard. And then we also have a process to persist the event store. What the Lakehouse enable? Better revenue, and that's done through many different ways. Talking about different ways, we have 16 industries. Go on the website, so you will see all the example about improving revenue across industries. Same thing with the operation, risk, and customer experience. So we reuse business events, so that will cost on your real-time data engineering cost to populate your layouts. We use composite-based industry model for the lakehouse. We've done more than 4 decades across 16 industries, CEDM and EDM. And because we've done that, we've decided to create a composite CEDM built on a common data subject, specific data subject, and shared data subject. We apply best practices on our approaches. You will have a better, lower TCO if you adopt what we've done, being open source in some cases, being object storage versus using database all the time, and so on. The closed loop, essentially, you run real time operation and AI. So if you're EDA native, it means you're 1 and 1A. Essentially, what you do is you produce business events and consume them. That's 1 and 1A. For the lakehouse will or consume the business events being native or not. Because if it's not native, it will go through the CDC and back, but it will also produce business events. And these business events populate the lakehouse at whatever frequency. We like to do it in micro batches of 10 minutes roughly. And the lakehouse will consume that in real time, but the speed layer of the layouts will consume them in real time, will produce AI events back to the EDA, which is then consumed by the application, which is number 4. So the result, your enterprise becomes real time and in quote intelligent. This is the deeper view of everything I just said. We have 3 sets of topics, the CDC topics that are fed by Debezium. Your legacy application, the Debezium does its job. The BEC reads the CDC to produce the business event topics. The business event topics are either native EDA or through what I just explained, and they are being consumed by the AI speed layer, which produce AI events, which are also consumed by what I call EDA capable, meaning native EDA application or legacy EDA extension, which surround your application. And you see the event store. Um, so there is a lot. I didn't talk about the bronze layer, but the bronze layer is also being fed by the business event. And what's interesting, the bronze layer will consume both business events and AI events. Therefore, your lakehouse is richer and more intelligent, and you can machine learn using the output of your inferences. And you have the event table for persistence of all events, being AI events or business events. At the end, and we're going to do a video to explain more why we see you can cut big time on your costs. It's not just about open source. It's about use of object storage. I mean, um, so I will get back to that in another video. Who's using them? If you're not very comfortable with open source, have a look at these companies. They are major retailer, banks, manufacturer, and so on, and tech companies. And to conclude, you will modernize at lower cost and risk. No big bang rewrite. We provide real working system. We provide the source. We do have some module, for example, we have an event registry. This one, it's only binary code, sorry. So, but essentially for most of the platform, meaning the Lakehouse with AI speed layer and the EDA, you get access to the source code. The rest, the data governance platform and the event registry, it's binary. And as you can see, there are a lot, right? You're getting the bus, the CDC, the BEC, the populate event store processes, the application database container, utilities registry, lakehouse, ingestion, integration, consumption, serving layer. We build also a dashboard you're getting with, and you're getting the what we call the real-time AI with human loop, which is essentially your legacy EDA extension. Hoping that this was very interesting and that you will reach us to have to get more information. Again, go on the website. There is more information, but there is another level of detail that only prospect and consumer gets, meaning the full documentation, the patterns, the exact way of doing things, and even some architectural consideration. Going approach A means what, going approach B means what, and so on. Thank you. Have a great day.